All right. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Nayef Mubarak with Mubarak Law, and here in downtown Orlando, joining you early this evening just to give quick updates on some really good news given the last year and a half. And we'll get to that shortly. But first, we want to start with some good news cases that we've had in our office. There were several actually in the last week or so I'm going to list a couple. We had a adjustment of status. That's the process for somebody to get the green card for a daughter petitioning for her mom. This was approved without an interview and approved really quickly, actually. So congratulations to that family. And all the time we talk about student visas, the F1 International Student Visa. There's also a visa called the J1, which is similar, but a lot of times it's more specific training in a particular field. And oftentimes the J1 visa can come with a requirement where the individual has to go home for 2 years prior to being able to remain in the US permanently. It's under INA 212E, it's a 2-year exception or rule. So we had to apply for our client to have a waiver and prove that their spouse would suffer exceptional hardship if this individual was not granted a waiver. She was from Colombia. We were able to get the waiver. So congratulations to them. We also had adjustment of status approved for a green card spouse. So the spouse of a resident. And many people don't know that you couldn't file for this, but if the visa bulletin is current and the spouse is in valid status, many times they are eligible for adjustment of status here in the United States. But make sure you speak with an attorney. Everybody's case is different. This is just general information. And finally, 2 weeks ago, we were in New York for one of our clients being involved in New York Fashion Week. And you might ask, how does that relate to immigration law? Well, there's 2 types of visas, or 3 really, that kind of come in the fashion world. And one is going to be P visas, which is oftentimes used for athletes or models. O1 is the O1 visa for artists or people with extraordinary ability. And the EB2 NIW, National Interest Waiver. This is great avenue for many people who either have an advanced degree or have extraordinary ability in their field, because they do not need a job offer to obtain the green card if they can meet certain requirements, and it's in the national interest of the United States to waive the Department of Labor or the job offer requirement. Our client left a testimonial on our Instagram highlights. So if you want to check out Gabriel's testimonial from Venezuela, he's a photographer, didn't have a job offer, but we were able to prove through his exceptional ability that he it's in our interest as a country to have people like him here. And he now has a green card and permanent residency status here. So congratulations to him. It was a big win for us. And we also had 2 car accident cases settle last week. So congratulations to Kelly and me, who have been working on, and our clients who've been working on these cases for some time. And as you know, many of you know that we do immigration, but we've been doing personal injury since starting Mubarak Law 5 years ago. So please keep us in mind for that. Hopefully nobody gets in an accident, but if the unfortunate situation you do, please let us know. Okay, that's our good news. I know that was lengthy, but now I'm going to give you guys some legal updates. Next week is October 1st, and that is going to be starting the requirements that immigrants coming to the U.S. are going to be required to have the vaccine. So that is just next week. That's something that will be put into place, and many people will need to have the vaccine there. Now, this banner down here, international tourist traveling to the U.S. As you guys know, there's been a travel ban for individuals from 33 countries from entering the United States. And this has been really difficult for our country on tourism and issues of, just making difficulty in families being separated. And to just give you guys some ideas, in 2019, there were some 80 million international travels. And now the number dropped to 19.4 just last year. So there is a difference of almost 50 million people that were not, contributing or passing through our economy. So I bring this up because starting in November, the travel ban will be lifted for those who are vaccinated or who can show a negative COVID-19 test prior to their departure. I'm sure there's going to be very specific tests that are going to be required and specific brands. So as we continue to learn about this update, we will promise to give you guys the details as we learn of it as well. Now, this, as I mentioned, this is great. A lot of our clients who have tourist visas have been unable to get here. If they have businesses here or properties here, it's been very difficult for them to check in on those, and as well as family members. So I know that we are looking forward to November. It's going to be very good, especially in Central Florida, for our tourist economy, and hopefully one more step in the path to the new normal and things getting back to normal. So we look forward to that being done in November. And then we can hopefully have more individuals coming here and seeking their options or investing in the United States. Some other quick updates with USCIS. There's been several changes in the lock boxes. This is typically where you file your application. So although you live in Florida, you may send your application to a Chicago lockbox, for example, or to Arizona. USCIS recently made some specific changes. So if you've been working on your application, please be sure to double check the most recent instructions, not the instructions when you first started the form, but the most recent, to make sure you are sending that to the proper address. As always, I recommend you make copies of every single page, including the checks, including the tracking number, and make sure that you have proof of delivery of your package if it's going to be sent to USCIS. And credit cards have now been, there was a pilot program regarding using credit cards for government application fees. So if you're filing for naturalization and you don't want to send a check or money order, you could fill out a credit card authorization form. They've been slowly expanding this from form to form. So you can now go ahead, and if you are an employer who's sponsoring an employee, for example, on an I-140, this has now been expanded to that form as well. So this is kind of USCIS going to a more electronic system. And I think this is one more step in that direction. Now, I did have something else to add regarding, these delays and processing times. We've had several clients have their interviews scheduled in the last couple of weeks in Lebanon or in Jordan. So we're happy to see that the consular offices are starting to move again. So we hope that for those who have been waiting, that this will continue to be the trend and continue to improve. We did also have a case for prosecutorial discretion approved. I think I might have mentioned it last week, where the individual had a deportation order from more than 30 years ago. You see, it's in the middle of the day here, so lots of emails coming through. But the prosecutorial discretion seemed to be helping out many of our clients who are in deportation or removal proceedings. So if you know somebody who's in deportation or removal proceedings, they may have a few more options right now due to this prosecutorial discretion memo. So we hope to continue to try to use these tools to better represent our clients. That's all I have for you today. If you have particular topics, please let us know. And as you remember, we do have these videos on our YouTube channels and our social media channels, and you can go ahead and share it with us. Just a couple of things here. Sean saying good afternoon. What's up, DJ Sean? Hope you're doing well. And hopefully everything is good with you and your missus. And then we also have a question here that we'll translate for next time. And we'll make sure, Lana, that we will answer your question on the next Facebook Live. So please feel free to join us next week. And as I mentioned, join us on social media. I'll appreciate it. And if you have any other questions or you think that we might be able to help you out with a car accident or immigration matter, please feel free to contact us. All right. Well, we thank you all very much. And a quick, big thank you to our intern, Bindi Patel, everybody. Here she is. Her parents just made us a full course meal with butter chicken and all sorts of incredible traditional Indian dishes. So thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Patel. Thank you, Bindi. It's been a pleasure having you here all summer. One thing about our office is we have 7 or 8 languages flying through our hallways at any given time. So it's something that I definitely take pride in. And if you're ever around, stop by our office and say hello. Hope everyone has a wonderful Thursday and a great weekend.